Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. The SEC totally surrendered. They dropped the case against Ripple chairman Chris Larsen and the CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And then we have the AMM. This is the automated market maker discussion that took place on X. Well, it's caused a lot of heavy discussion, mostly whether or not the testing thus far has been sufficient. If you're looking for a very good balanced recap, Krypton Rider on X composed a tweet that is one of 29 in a thread. It's very good. I highly recommend it. And we've also got a little bit of conversation about what can be done to increase the engagement from the validators. Here is David Schwartz when he made his comment in that space.
In an ideal world, I would like to see validators that are less participating in governance be rotated out for validators that are more participating in governance. It's just difficult to find, enough people who are willing to run a high quality validator and are willing to participate in governance. But the XRPL Foundation, I think, is always actively looking for high quality validators. We're always looking for high quality validators, happy to include them. We would love to have, a community that's participating as actively as possible. I mean, that would be fantastic.
I'm on XRP Scan where we can see how many validators have put in a vote, and so far just 17.14%, which comes out to 6 yays, and there are still 29 nays. Now, it's not necessarily a nay because no action registers as a nay. So when you look at the list of validators that fall under the nays, you're not really sure which ones here just aren't paying attention or which ones are really saying no, they don't want it. It's quite difficult. So BitTrue, yes, was added yesterday, and then we have the Aesthetis Art. They added their yes vote today. And Weetza Wind, he also too gave a very balanced opinion here. He says that there is the conservative take. Did we check everything? Will it hold up in the production? Is it really ready? Have we really tested it? Do we really know the consequences? And rightly so, he says, because mistakes were made in the past. And it is versus the camp that is saying, let's move forward pronto, grow, celebrate, new, and more. And rightly so, he says, because the XRPL deserves to move forward and grow. And he finishes his post with, let's respect each other for our perspectives, and looking at the fact that the conservative group is around here for more than one market cycle shows they aren't here for a quick gain, but for the ecosystem and success of the XRPL. What he's trying to say there is, don't be angry with those that aren't voting or that are asking questions or that want more information, because they're doing it really for the good and safety of the entire XRP ledger. We're all working towards the same goal, he wrote, and just with different perspectives and objectives, and with different amounts of risk appetite, different levels of satisfaction when it comes to testing the hell out of things. XRP Goat agrees 1,000%. And when you have this decentralized governance, it's never easy. And that is just how the decentralization of the governance goes. And I am thankful that we have this balance between those that are pushing for growth and change and those that are being very careful. Moving right along, I wanted to say congratulations to Securency. I had them on the channel last year, and it was when they announced their Composer deployment on the XDC Foundation network. And oh, wow, I can't believe that they have a signed definitive agreement in hand to be acquired by the DTCC. That's incredible. They have a first-rate institutional-grade digital asset infrastructure, and what a fantastic step for them. Ripple is running a 75% off for the next, well, it was 72 hours when they announced this. It's about 24 hours left. And this is if you are interested in going to the Ripple Swell event in Dubai. Really great news about Tether. They plan to start publishing real-time reserve reports in 2024. I think this is fantastic. I've got a treat for you at the end of this video, which is Larry Fink of BlackRock in a podcast just a couple of days ago, where he is discussing the Bitcoin ETF, the spot ETF that he has applied for with the SEC. You don't want to miss that. And now I'm going to play a sneak preview to tell you what is coming to the channel. It's a series and it's about BTQ. They are preparing the blockchain ecosystem for a post-quantum computer world. Have a listen.
We also do work in post-quantum cryptography for blockchains. This is a huge area of our business where we've developed several scaling solutions for blockchains. And then also looking at applying these to technologies like central bank digital currencies or CBDCs, which we think is going to play a huge role in the future. So when it comes to CBDCs, so we can think about this as the natural extension of our current fiat money supply, right? Where with fiat dollars, this is physical, and what happens in that workflow. So when the government or when the central bank mints new money, it gets processed through a minting facility, and in order to ensure the uniqueness and verifiability that this is a real dollar, it gets stamped. And this is what, when you receive a large bill, like a $100 bill, you kind of look at it in the light and see if it has this seal attached to it. And that's how people know that this is a legitimate $100 bill. And so this is akin to a digital signature in the technological version of this fiat dollar, where when a central bank produces a new token or dollar in their native currency, they still have to sign it in some way, and those are going to be using these digital signatures that we've been working on. So our goal at BTQ is to help governments transition to be able to digitally secure their money supply in the face of quantum and classical attackers, and then also to do so efficiently. So kind of alluding back to the graphic of the size and differences between classical cryptography or pre-quantum cryptography and then post-quantum cryptography, how PQC is so much larger. Well, what we can do is after we sign these CBDCs, we can also help governments optimize the payment and the transactions for which these digital signatures are being used in.
One of the things that you have been talking a lot about recently, and I'm interested to understand what's behind this, is your interest in cryptocurrency. I'd like your overall take on crypto, but as we look at this climate that we're in, as you say, structurally persistent inflation, terrible fiscal position, which isn't going to help there,
Yes.
The global climate in all kinds of ways, all contributing to these inflationary pressures. In your view, is crypto emerging as a possible alternative kind of hedge to, people have typically looked at gold, perhaps in those circumstances, they've looked at the dollar. Is that part of what's driving interest in crypto, and basically your interest in crypto, or are there other factors?
I look at it as a great alternative. I have met people in my travels. In one of the meetings I had, I met with this Afghani woman who is trying to empower women in Afghanistan, but you can't make payments to the banking systems because it's controlled by the Taliban. And she's providing payment using Bitcoin through crypto. I've met people in other countries where they're frightened of their government. They're frightened of the debasement of their currency, and they're using crypto as a hedge. Historically, we thought of gold as that key commodity, but crypto has caught the imagination of millions and millions of people. And I really do believe it's going to play a role. I mean, the design of Bitcoin is a pretty amazing design. It's been tested already. I mean, when you think about the FTX fiasco and all these things, these are just fraudulent companies. They created their own crypto coin. The beauty of Bitcoin, there's checks and balances all throughout it. These other exchanges were just fictitious exchanges and there was no checks and balances. I mean, that's the irony. The irony of, if you look at the beauty of what a Bitcoin is and what they're trying to do, maximum 21 million Bitcoins. I think right now there's like 12 million of them. So there's not many more years left in mining them. And so there's a finite level of these. And if people value them as worth something, and they have the confidence, and you could say what's behind it, but because what's behind gold other than what it's used for jewelry? I mean, and I think we as human beings have found different things that we ascribe value to. I mean, when you see a contemporary piece of art that's selling over $100 million and somebody's ascribing a value to that artist and it's trading, and I think that's what Bitcoin is. And I'm hearing more and more from different parties of the world where they want to diversify.
So you're looking to provide investment products for...
We filed with the SEC, which I can't talk about it, a spot market Bitcoin ETF with the full transparency of what an ETF can be. And
you're confident you're going to get that approved, those approvals?
You know the regulatory atmosphere right now. If confident, I'd be a fool. I mean, I think we answered a lot of questions, and I think there's a great demand for this. And look, the SEC has to play their role and their job in making sure that, it's safe and sound. But I think we created a safe and sound product.
It's interesting you say that. And again, I'm not talking here about crypto or your particular Bitcoin product, but you just as an aside there said, what the regulatory environment is like right now. Is that something that concerns you? You're seeing a pretty aggressive antitrust enforcement approach from the Biden administration. Arguably, we still have, obviously a very tight financial regulations. Do you think actually, if anything, that pendulum has swung too far in terms of the regulatory climate here in the US?
I believe the great foundation of capitalism is destruction and renewal. And one way of destruction is merging companies into bigger companies and making them better and stronger.